So is the competition getting tougher? Let's break it down for GATE 2026. So friends, my name is Aditya Jain and I welcome you all to another very data-driven session where we are going to actually analyze whether it is getting tougher or not in GATE 2026. So friends, we come across lots of students who are very worried about how is the competition this year, right? Because as you know, that GATE awareness is getting incremented year by year, and that's why the competition is also getting stronger. But let's break it down into data-driven points in this particular session. So let's have a look at some data. First of all, why is the number of aspirants rising? Okay, because you might have seen the trend, and I'm going to also show you few trends today, that the number of aspirants for the GATE exam are incrementing each year. Okay, so year on year increase in GATE registrations. But let me tell you, registrations does not mean competition always. Okay, they don't always mean that the competition is rising. Because friends, lots of people register, but if you look at the funnel, not everyone appears for the exam. And even if everyone appears for the exam, not all of them seriously appear for the exam. So the competition is not directly proportional always. Okay, popular branches like CSE, EE, ECE, like electrical, electronics, see maximum growth. Okay, especially I would say CSE and the newly introduced branch DA. Reason being that everyone is looking forward to the new era, which is revolving around AI. Okay, and these branches which are directly related to AI, your computer science, your electrical, and your electronics. In fact, electronics is also very much in demand due to the robotics and AI combination, right? And obviously, data-driven branches are always there, right? More candidates means tougher race for the top ranks. As I told you, this is the general trend. If you have more people registering, obviously the percentage would be giving you more absolute numbers in terms of the ones who appear. And if the ones who are appearing are also more, the number of competitive students would also be more. Okay, but we need to analyze the data and understand what truly is the case. Okay, so let's go through this. These are some very common sense based reasons about why there is a rising in the number of aspirants year on year. Now, let's talk about the quality of competitors or the quality of competition. This is what I was referring to earlier, that okay, the number of people who are registering are increasing, but we need to analyze how is the impact on the competition, because we are not competing with everyone. We are competing with the top rank holders. Because dosto, my name is Aditya Jain and I told you that I have secured All India rank 60 in GATE Computer Science 2019. That time around 1 lakh students used to appear for GATE Computer Science and I secured All India rank 60, which is under 100 rank among them. So was my competition 1 lakh students? Never. My competition was only 5 to 10,000 students who were actually serious about preparation, because I always wanted to get under 100 rank. I always wanted to get into IIT Bombay to pursue my masters, which I actually did. After securing the rank, I got into IIT Bombay to pursue my 2 years masters program from 2019 to 2021. So what I'm trying to explain you is, even though 1 lakh students were appearing that time, my competition was only the 5 to 10,000 students who are sincere about their preparation. So from 1 lakh, almost 10% people are your competition in general. Okay. So more repeaters and well-prepared aspirants. This is a valid point. Okay. So as the year progresses, there are more people who are appearing for the GATE exam as a repetition, because they were not able to do the best in the previous attempt. So now they are well prepared to compete with you in the current GATE exam. Okay. Early starters like 2-3 years preparation are also there. Okay, like we have lots of students who are going to give a very good competition to remaining students, because they have started very early with their GATE preparation. Okay, we have different batches like Shreshth batch, Parakram batch, Vijay batch. Okay, so every batch has a different purpose altogether. So we are also preparing candidates for the later GATE exams. So they are the early starters, and obviously they are going to give a very healthy competition to the remaining students. So students, be prepared to your competition. Okay, and coaching plus online resources widely available. So earlier it used to be the case that the material was not accessible. Okay, the timings were not matching, and for that reason students were not able to prepare well. But nowadays everything is available to you with just a click of a button. Okay, talking about our classes, we also provide live as well as the recorded material, so you can study from anywhere at any time. So due to this, there are lots of students who are now capable to study for the GATE exam, and they are getting the quality education at affordable prices, right? So because of this, there has been rise in the number of people who are appearing for the GATE exam, and obviously they are going to give a very tough competition. Okay, so overall net, this is the quality of competition. The quality is also good, and the number of registrations are also good in general in this case. Okay, please remember, the ones who are repeating are the ones who have appeared for the GATE exam in third year, because some part of them are the ones who have already appeared given GATE exam in third year, and now they are reappearing in the fourth year. So repeaters doesn't always mean that they are taking a break from preparation. Okay, like when I gave GATE exam, the minimum criteria was to be in the fourth year. At my time, we were not allowed to give GATE exam in third year, but nowadays even the third year students can appear for the GATE exam. So this is where the competition even enhances a bit more. Okay, Chali. So let's look at some exam pattern and difficulty. So if you properly analyze the past year GATE papers for your respective branches, you will see lots of amazing patterns there. Okay, so conceptual plus analytical questions are increasing, because as you know, the full form of GATE exam is the word aptitude. The A stands for aptitude. So GATE exam is continuously trying to test your aptitude. Okay, they are not interested in memorization, they are not interested in rote learning. They want you to apply your brain, apply the basic concepts, and get to the answers. So that's why each year the conceptual level and the analytical level that is getting tested is increasing year by year. And because of that reason, my dear friends, it is very important for you to have a very important way of guidance, a very fluid way of guidance. It is very important for you to have quality guidance. Okay, because that will ensure that you are having great conceptual building and analytics skills. Higher weightage are given to the NATs and MSQs. Okay, so everyone, okay, not just you guys, everyone, even I used to be very afraid of MSQs, because MSQs are the real test of knowledge. You can solve MCQ by process of elimination. Okay, you can say that only one option is correct, so remaining three are incorrect, so this will be correct. You can do that logic in MCQs where only one option is correct. But in case of MSQ, multiple options can be correct, and you can get, or you can solve that correctly only when you are very clear about each and every concept. Okay, so there is a higher weightage getting given to MSQs to increase the level of GATE exam. And obviously we shall not forget the NETs, which are numerical answer type questions, where there are no options at all. Although the benefit is that there is no negative marking as well, but to score in NAT you have to be very accurate, because you don't have those four options to choose from. It is a fill in the blank kind of a question where you have to enter a number. In fact, you have to enter the number very accurately as well. Okay, because they ask you for input in a very specific number of decimal places. So please make sure that high accuracy is needed to score in these two types of questions. And finally, less scope for guesswork. As I already told you, there is very less room for guesswork in numerical answer types and MSQs, because there you should be very clear with the concept before you mark the answer. But one benefit here is that there are no negative marking in few of these questions, because it is tough, right? So numerical answer types usually don't carry any negative marking, but obviously you can check the instructions given to you during the GATE exam. Okay, so these are some observations from the exam patterns. As you know, every year MCQ questions, MSQ questions and NAT questions, these are the three types of questions that gets asked in the GATE exam, and they are divided into few 1 mark questions, few 2 mark questions, right? The focus is given to the core subjects as well as to the aptitude and maths, and such pattern is followed for each and every branch. Usually aptitude carries 15 marks, or I should say 15% weightage, and this is common across almost all of the branches. Okay, so be prepared for such things. Now branch wise impact. Okay, so depending on which branch you belong to, this is the idea about how the competition is rising. What is the impact at branch level? Okay, because as I told you at the very beginning, not every branch is equally competitive. Okay, you also know that. Okay, usually ECE, electronics, your electrical and your CSDA are the highly competitive branches. So CSE and DA, very high competition, and it is not a matter of surprise. Okay, you all know that every other person today is looking for people who are upskilled in AI, who are having required knowledge about AI, who can contribute to industry level projects on AI. And for the same reason, everyone is inclined towards being AI ready. So that's why they are either appearing for CSE or DA GATE exam, so that they can get their master's degree in this branch and they become eligible to apply for such roles. It's very obvious. Okay, so this is bound to increase, and I can guarantee you that next year this will also be more increased as compared to this year. So I can see the trend for the next 3 to 4 years. It is going to be an uptrend in competition, uptrend in demand. So, talking about electrical and electronics rising steadily. Again, not like exponential increase, okay, but still there is a small increase in the number of students and the competition for this. And obviously, it will be lesser than this, but still, as they are relevant, so they are also bound to increase. Talking about mechanical and civil, okay, comparatively stable. There might be an absolute increase, but in terms of percentage they are comparatively stable. Okay, obviously every year the GATE number of aspirants are expected to increase across all branches, because everyone is slowly realizing that your bachelor's degree is not sufficient to grasp you the best possible opportunities. You need to be highly skilled and you need to have domain knowledge in order to get the best possible role. Okay, so everyone is now moving towards the MTech. Okay, now competition level is not same for all branches, as I already told you dosto. Okay, competition is very subjective. You cannot say that even the competition would be same for all the branches. Obviously the ones who are very much in demand, okay, they are getting the most attraction from the students. Second important point, as you are aware, last year students were allowed to appear for 2 GATE papers. Okay, this year also it is similar expected, but yeah, there is no such formal official communication. We will share it with you whenever it happens. So this year also, let's say if they allow you to for appearing for 2 papers like past year, so everyone, what they do is they keep DA as one of the papers. Okay, because they know that being DA certified will help them grab the best opportunities. So that increases the competition as well. Now, as I promised you at the very beginning, that we will have the data driven discussion, right? So here is some data in front of you. Okay, let me show that to you. So computer science and engineering comparison, year on year comparison. Okay, so if in 2021 these many number of students were appearing, and in 2022 these many number of students were appearing, so you can see the difference. This minus this is 24,665. Okay, so that means more students were appearing before than after. Okay, that's why it is in red. Okay, red means there is a decrease by this much amount. What is that percentage wise? 31.9% drop. Okay, even that trend was observed the second year, 2022, 77,257 students. For 2023, 75,679 students. So almost a drop of 2% year on year. So for the 2 years, the drop was like this. Now suddenly what happened is in 2023, okay, so from 75,679 to 2024, there were 1,23,697 students. Okay, so that is a delta of 48,000 and a percentage of 38.8% increment. Okay, this is increment, year on year increment. So suddenly the trend got changed. Okay, and after that in 2025 we observed 1,70,000 students appearing for this paper, which is again a delta of 47,000, but percentage wise increase, it's a 27.6%. Okay, so the entire story has got changed in the last 2 years. Okay, let's proceed ahead. If you look at the electrical engineering, okay, again from 87,000 to 69,000, which is almost a 25.5% drop. Okay, so the pattern is same. Okay, this year there was a drop. Okay, then in this year 2022 to 2023, again a drop of almost 26 percentage, which is huge. Okay, almost 55,000 people are appearing, which is very less. Then we saw a spike from 55,000 to 59,000, which is almost a 7.2% uptick. Okay, so it increased, the competition increased, and here in the last year it was 11.9% increment, almost 12% increment, which again shows an uptrend in the number of students who are appearing for GATE in electrical engineering. Okay, so as you can see, the CS 2 negative, 2 positive, and again the same thing is here. If we observe the electronics and communication engineering branch, the similar pattern can be observed. 21 to 2022, it was a 48.5% drop, very huge drop, almost 50%, almost half. Okay, next year also it was an 18.4% drop. So basically from 80,000 to directly 45,000 in 2 years, the count of the students. Then it had a quite decent jump from 45,000 to 63,000, which is almost a 27.3% increment in the number of students appearing for GATE. And finally, in the next year from 63,000, this number rose to 81,000, again to 22.5% increment. Okay, which is again a good huge jump. So I hope you are able to observe the patterns here. Okay, here also 2 years back to back drop and 2 years increment. Here also 2 years back to back drop, 2 years increment. So almost every branch so far that we have discussed have seen an uptick in the number of students appearing, okay, over the past 2 years. So we are expecting 2026 even to be slightly higher number as compared to 2025, but let's see, no one knows the data so far, right? So mechanical engineering, now here it is interesting. Okay, here you can see interesting point here. So from 1,20,000 which is a very big number, okay, it came to 89,000, which is a 34.6 percentage drop. But in 2021 it was at a very peak. Okay, almost 1,20,000 students appearing. It is the maximum in all these years, right? Then from 89,000 it came down to 63,000, almost half. 1,20,000 to 63,000, almost half the number of students, right? So it is again a further drop of 41.1%, massive drop, almost half drop in 2 years. Okay, then from 63,000 it rose to 65,000, which is again a very small delta. Okay, which is almost just a 3.1% delta. And from this 65,000 it again dropped to 62,000, which is a drop. This should be drop of 5.7%. Okay, so it again got decremented. So mechanical is forming a different pattern as compared to the past 3 branches which I have discussed. Okay, Here the pattern was 2 years decrease, 2 years increase, but here it is 2 year decrease, 1 year increase, even very slightly, and then again decrease. Okay, moving on to civil engineering. Okay, from 1,15,000, again a huge number, to 1 lakh, which is 15% drop, and from 1 lakh to 83,000, which is again 20.2% drop for the first 2 years. Okay, then from 83,000 to 85,000, which is a slightly 3.2% increment, and from 85,000 again it dropped to 79,000, which is a drop of almost 7.4%. So again it dropped. So that's why we told you mechanical and civil are forming a different pattern. Okay, if you have closely observed, CS, electronics and electrical are forming 2 decrease, 2 increase. So in recent 2 years there has been increment, but that's not the case with mechanical and civil. They have been dropped in the past, in the recent year. Okay, so that is the major highlighting difference between them. Okay, talking about chemical engineering. So again, from 16,000 to 14,000, which is 16.2% drop. From 14,000 to 13,000, which is again a 5.6% drop. From 13,000 to 13,936, which is a 2.3% increment. And from 13,000 to 14,800, again 6.1% increment. So similar trend as to what computer science and electronics and electrical. 2 years decrementing and then 2 years incrementing trend. Okay, chali. So guys, what are key takeaways? Like, what do we observe from this? Okay, so marks, what is the marks reality? So small marks difference is large rank jump. I still remember I scored 77.33 marks out of 100 in my GATE exam, in which I secured All India rank 60. And the one who scored All India rank 45, who is kind of a best friend of mine, okay, his marks were only 1 mark more than me. But even under 100, 1 mark difference can cost you 15 ranks. So imagine how huge difference it could be at the lower ranks. Okay, accuracy matters more than attempts, and I consider myself as a very good example for it, because friends, I had a negative marking of only minus 0.66 in the entire GATE paper, which I am really very proud of. Very less negative marking. Okay, and negative marking impacts rank heavily, which no one actually realizes. Everyone thinks that the more they appear, the more better rank they will get, which is true, but you can't ignore accuracy here. Okay, accuracy plays a very important role, which you cannot ignore. Okay, smart strategy to win GATE 2026 dosto. So focus on high weightage topics. Okay, so we already told you that study everything, but towards the later stage only focus on the very important topics, which we already shared. Multiple revisions plus previous year questions. The more you revise, the more concepts will be fresh in your mind, and the faster you will be able to apply them in the GATE exam. Okay, All India mock test for rank benchmarking, and consistency will beat competition every single time. So if you have not yet enrolled for the GATE test series, I would strongly recommend you to join our GATE test series, which is actually designed to help you beat this competition. Okay, we are creating each and every question ourselves, and we are also providing you with the video recording as well as the text solution, so that it can help you prepare in these tough times. Okay, so my suggestion would be, this stage you should completely focus on revision, on mock tests, especially full length mock tests, and your previous year questions revision. Okay, because friends, this is the most impactful segment for everyone's GATE journey. No matter how much you have studied earlier, if you study well for this 2 months, 1 or 2 months, whatever are left to you, you will get the maximum benefit of this preparation. Okay, there are many students who prepare very well in the beginning, but their enthusiasm drops towards the end. Please don't do like that. Okay, and finally, what are the key takeaways? Competition is tougher but controllable. As I told you, number of students increase doesn't always mean that everyone is your competition. Because if you are aiming for a under 100 rank, let me be very honest with you, only 10,000 max students are worth competing with. Apart from them, no one is your competition. No matter if there are 1,70,000 students appearing, not everyone is preparing well. Okay, I can see that. I communicate, I interact with students, and I can see that very few people are sincere. Don't worry about the base number. Just think about that one seat that you're looking for. You only need one seat. You only need to have one seat in your dream college. Okay, so you have to just appear for that. Okay, you don't compete with lakhs. As I told you, you are not competing with everyone. There are very selective students who are your competition, and you need to only worry about them. Okay, you compete with the prepared few, very few, almost 10%, or let's say max to max 20% students among the whole lot who is appearing for the GATE exam are your real competition. And smart work is important, or more important than the hard work. So what I mean by smart work is that you need to plan very well. Okay, everyone is studying. Okay, every student is attending the same lectures, but only few get the rank. I was the only student in my batch who secured All India rank 60, which is under 100 rank. I was the only student in the entire city who got the highest rank of All India rank 60. Why that? Because I was doing what others don't do. They don't prepare well. They don't plan well. They panic at the end. If you just avoid these small mistakes, your rank will automatically increase to the top. Okay, so these are the few points which I wanted to share with you, dosto. I hope that this session added value to you. As I told you, that you don't have to worry about the competition. You just need to be aware of the competition. Okay, it doesn't always mean that you will be competing with the lakhs of students. There are very few people who are your real competition. Okay, so just think from that perspective and keep preparing well. Okay, because this is the most important stage of your preparation. With this, dosto, my name is Aditya Jain. I wish you all the very best, and I wish you a great success. Please make sure to get a better rank than me. So you have to get a better rank than All India rank 60, and you will definitely do that if you prepare well. All the best. Goodbye. Take care. Thank you.